time where you can say the word ancestor. Dlozilami, Vafasi, Vadimu, and you can shout it out loud and proud. As a young South African, I'm humbled namhlanje. I woke up so emotional, and I couldn't explain where the tears were coming from, but there was already inside of me. It is because now I no longer have to be doing the things in the shadows. I can step out because those that have led so courageously ahead of us have set a path for us, that us who are coming behind can walk tall and proud in who we are. Today we are celebrating Ancestors' Day. Do you understand how powerful that is and what that means for all of us? Nedzna langa ndifundisani Ravele. Nishtukulu shaka maluleke, shtukulu shaka shihlangu. Ndimduru wa Ravele macheke. Macheke olambu dzadzina balanda ndoni tana kholomo. Macheke milenje mipfupi mahata aududumela. Ndimuduru wa lesengani wa dabana wa ramabulana wo singo. Ndi ifi mu ofe opandala mapfumo dirwanga ndothe. As a conversation with our partners at Contralesa, the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa is culminating into this beautiful celebration that we are here to honor today. A celebration of African spirituality, a celebration of African identity. You know, they're in America and they say, we did it, Joe. We did it. We did it, Joe. Svigin, we did it, Joe. We did it. It does deserve a round of applause. It does. And I think somebody else that deserves a big round of applause and a big round of just acknowledgement is Castle Milk Stout. You know, there are many brands that say many things, but they don't walk the talk. When Castle Milk Stout said they are putting their hand up to be the custodian of African culture, the custodian of celebrating our heritage and everything that we are, and they said, we will make something like Ancestors' Day happen. They did it. So to Castle Milk Stout, ndirayi, boshuma. Rukodiwa mishumo ya veiwe. It would be remiss of me to not the royalty that surrounds us this evening. Ndiri kadkosi, ndiri to dikhoshigadi, ndiarosha. The special thank you to Khosi Mukwena for hosting us in his backyard, right here, Abushi, Bushbuck Ridge. Thank you, Amanda. It's a special day. It is a day that we're, but it is a day for us to really just celebrate. On the timelines, it has been amazing to just conversation unfold on hashtag Ancestors Day. It's been trending #1 the entire day. We have seen young people, old people, showing us on the timeline how they are celebrating and honoring those who came before them, those whose blood runs through our veins. Those, when we say we are their wildest dreams, they look down upon us today and they say, Baboneng, Baboneng, with joy and with pride. The conversation also continues right now, so please jump onto your cell phones. Even the older ones, get on Twitter. Don't be afraid. I know you are there. Your daughters and sons don't want to. So please be a part of the conversation. The hashtag is Ancestors Day, and you can also tag at Castle Milk Stout. Let us know how you are, of course, celebrating. And I'm specifically saying this to those who are joining us via the live stream. We acknowledge you. Let us know how you are celebrating and honoring those who came before you. Whether it is rituals, ceremonies, whatever it is you're doing, be a part of this important conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I have a co-host who is the Secretary General of Contralesa. So it gives me great pleasure this evening to please welcome His Royal Highness Zolani Mkiva.
Kamagu. Molweni. Sanibonani. Tumelang. Thobela. Absheni. Ndiyacamagusha bantu bezwe lakokwethu esilithandayo. Ndibulisa nonke nina bakhoyo apha kwesisilili sakwaMathibela. Phansi kwesikhokhelo sikaRhoshi Mathupha Mathibela Mokoena. Kwena. Kwena. I have been given just a very easy task to welcome all of you in this sacred space, in this land of our ancestors. We have gathered here, kulomhlaba kaMathibela, not only just for the fun of it, but to make a rightful claim as the natives of this land, as the custodian of our society, to say to you, the living generation, that it cannot be right for us to overlook those who came before us. For we are where we are today because of them. In us, we carry their genes, we carry their blood, we carry their bone, we carry their hopes, we carry their fears, we carry everything that they had imagined during their lifetime that they could not realize. Here we are today. We have crossed the Rubicon where we are able to say what we want to say, but it remains incomplete without the total emancipation of our people, the African majority. We remain in squalor, we remain landless, we remain worthless, because our wealth is still in the hands of those who came elsewhere in the world and took our space. As we are gathered here today in this land of Mathibela, Mathibela himself has no right to the space where we are. We had to rent this place. But it's fine, because that is only for a moment. This land will be restored, and we will fight with the last drop of our blood to ensure that the land is restored to the African majority. As we salute our ancestors today, we want to make a clear declaration that the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa has taken a decision to authorize and inscript the 8th of May as the Day of the Ancestors. By virtue of the powers vested in us by the very same ancestor that we are honoring today, we hereby declare that this day will be the day of the African ancestor going forward. Every year from now hence, we will gather in this fashion in every first weekend of the month of May. Inyanga kaCanzibe ngesiXhosa. Inyanga eyandulela inyanga yesilimela. Inyanga eyelekela inyanga kaTshazimpunzi. Zonke ezinyanga zinyanga ezibalulekileyo kummiselo wokhokho bethu. Sithi ke bantu bakokwethu ningoyiki ngokoyikiswa. Nina ningabantwana bomgquba. Nina ningabantwana begazi. Nina ningabantwana bogaga. Elilizwe lelenu, elilizwe lelokhokho benu. Zenilibambe lingatshoni. Nazi into okubana namhlanje you were here to put your signature in the pledge which solidify and cement this day as a day of the ancestor. I am so happy that you are here. 100 years to come, when your children and your grandchildren look back, they will be so proud that you are the only few who carried millions of our people to launch this day. And please leave your signature, whether you sign with your feet or your fingers or with your eyes, but your signature for having been here will mean a lot to those who will come after us. When our children, 3,000 years to come, look back, they will be so proud. Ladies and gentlemen, compatriots and friends, allow me as I stand down to acknowledge the royals that are present here. Of course, we have the president of Contralesa, who is also the leader of this place. Kgoshi Mathupha Mokoena, ngicela simphe izandla bethu. Kgoshi, can you make yourself visible by any way that you choose to do, so that the people can see you? Let's give him another round of applause. We also have the Deputy President of Contralesa, Kgosi Nyalala Pilane wa Bakgatla ba Gafela. Kgoshi yaka. We are also joined by the chairperson of the National House of Traditional Leaders in our country, Inkosi yethu epha kwindlu yowisomthetho, uNkosi uSipho Mahlangu wamanzunza kuMandebele. We are joined by the commissioner of the Griqua people, who is part and parcel of the Khoi and San people in our country, Huab Aaron Martin Messelar from the Western Cape province. From the Ku and the Khoi people, who are our natives and the aborigines of this land, we have amongst us Huab Wenzel Kachara, the spiritual leader. We also have our seasoned and our senior leader, both in Contralesa, but he's also a leader of his own community in Limpopo, Kgoshi Nkwana Malekana. We are joined today representing the Eastern Cape province, the provincial secretary of Contralesa in that province, but he's also a leader of his own people. We have Unkosi Umkhanyiseli Tutumayo. From the Northwest province, we are joined by the chairperson of Contralesa in that province. He is also a leader of his own people, Kgosi Edward Mabalane. We are joined by the chairperson of Contralesa in Mpumalanga province. He is also a leader of his own people. Umntwana omhle Inkosi Unyamayengwe kaMahlangu kuManzunza kaNdebele. Sinonkosi ezikhoyo zalapha eBushbuck Ridge ezisebenzisana nonkosi uMkwena. Sinonkosi uMalele, Nkosi Malele. Siphinde sibe no hosi Ukhoza ophuma pha kuJongilanga Traditional Authority kwalapha eBushbuck Ridge. We are also joined by Prince Chilwane, who is amongst us. He is also from this part of the world. Let me acknowledge the presence of the CRL Commission, which is a state institution that is there to champion the rights of indigenous communities in particular, amongst others. Commissioner Ugogo, Ushila Mbele Kahama. We are also joined by a councillor representing the National Arts Council, and I'm so happy that he is here because there have been troubles in that National Arts Council. I'm sure that from now hence they will be able to solve with our divine intervention. Honorable Councillor Muyane. The National Heritage Council is also represented here, but I don't see the representative from where I am sitting. But you are all our esteemed guests. In Africa, we do not have subjects. Yes. In Africa, we do not have subjects. Subjects are found elsewhere, maybe in Europe, not here. We have people. The institution of traditional leadership is an organ of people's power. Any leader will tell you that you are a subject. He is not saying a correct thing from an African perspective. You are therefore all to us. You are equals. You are equals. But a king is a king of a people. And a queen is a queen of a people. But he or she doesn't have a subject. He has a people. Let me also say we are joined here by the leader of ATM, Umtaka Zungula, who is also a member of parliament. And he is accompanied by Umzwanele Manyi, Umzwanele Gesmaz Kakulu from our side as the founder of the Decolonization Foundation. And that is why we have him here. Kuwe Podlinja. Allow me to sign off by inviting my beautiful sister to carry on with the program. Mnake, diphuma kumabandla kamjakangoma kavezi ijekuli zala kulandela. Amangandanda eluhlwini angalandelwa la kusathana wembala. Inkomo ezimnyama zikamancoba zikavezi zikamale bomvu. Ngiyazithanda indaba.
Moya wami uyavuma. Moya wami uyavuma. Moya wami uyavuma. Moya wami uyavuma. Uyavuma umoya wami. Uyavuma umoya wami. Uyavuma umoya wami. Yeah, womo. Yeah, womo. Yeah, womo. Yeah,
deserves another round of applause. Hey! Lesbian friends. Yazi, they say in our culture, Uguti, there is no celebration without singing and dancing. And I don't know about you, but the power in their silence is what I felt in that performance. When they were just, soft. When they came down hard, but then it was just a soft landing. It reminds me of how those that have walked before us walked the same way. Their power is felt by us today. We are the ones that are going to stomp hard because of what they have done for us. Ngandira yeba chimrangayo. Ngajiko ofimini, they walked so that we can run. And we will run. We will run, we will ululate. Nduri, we will be the wildest imagination. We will be their wildest dreams that they never saw coming. They haven't seen the best of us yet. They haven't. They haven't. We walk with those that protect us and guide us. Those that fight for us. Nurinango Wuswiswi who walked before us. That is what we're celebrating here. Nuri rikoliliza uri rinandivo. Rinandira. Unachedza. Uko naga. Zuko nakelera. Doesn't mean there won't be tough times. There always will be. But for as long as we are guided, for as long as uyapahla and you pray, ay, kuzokhanya. Rukodoya panda. And we will dance and celebrate as the thespian friends have shown us. Now, in order for us to achieve a milestone like the one that we are celebrating today, we certainly have to stand on the shoulders of giants. And earlier on, I insisted that we acknowledge and that we praise Castle Milk Stout for the work that they have done. But I'd like us to go deeper into this conversation and understand their why. I'm a person that's grounded in three things: purpose, power, and impact. And how those three things work together for me is that I believe we are all on this earth to discover our purpose, to harness its power. And once you do that, all you have to do is sit back and watch the impact. Because even if you're impacting one person, loyo muntu is enough. The problem we have as Abantu is that we think that if we're not influencing and impacting more than, our work is not done. But you, the person you're sitting next to, you're making an impact to their life. Lo ute asambe. We're celebrating Ancestors Day. You don't know what change you have made to them. You don't know ukuthi kunodlozi eliphi elifike la namhlanje lithi ngiyabonga umlethe kimi la. There's something I wanted to tell them. There's something I wanted to show them. I wanted to tell them ukuthi awuhlanyi mntanami. Ngikhuluma nawe. I'm trying to guide you. And so as we stand on the shoulders of giants, I'd like to welcome the brand manager of Castle Milk Stout. If I could please have the chairs here on the stage so that we can just get into this conversation of understanding their why. Because once you understand your why, you're able to move through this world with so much purpose. And I truly believe that Castle Milk Stout is a brand that's done that. My journey with Castle Milk Stout has been one that has been 3 years long. We started with Clan Beats. We reunited again last year, and I remember issuing a challenge to say, "Skateleng, I'm a talk shop. We're tired of having conversation after conversation, but there's no action. We're tired of only celebrating heritage when it's 24 September. When heritage is an everyday thing. When it is who we are. And here we sit on the 8th of May, and they have actioned. They have put their money literally where their mouths are at. And they have walked and created partnerships that have birthed what is today the 8th of May. So with that said, please welcome to the stage Castle Milk Stout brand manager Kensani Mkombo to sit down with me for a quick conversation around their why. Kensan? We're going to be safe. Says Kensan, minjani? Ngifukile. Ndiyabarumelisa ndirimshumo wabo ndonaka ngamandla wadiba when I'm listening to this song about from Lira.
Yes.
it talks, there's a part that says, ngizophumelela, ngeke bangiqede namhlanje. And I think that's what you and your team have achieved here. I cannot imagine the naysayers that you sat around with boardrooms who said, it will never work. Why are we doing it? Will it make us money? And it was never about that. It's true. Let's be honest, right? Because when they sit around boardrooms, it's about what's the ROI? How many units are we moving? But you said, no, we want Ancestors Day. Talk to me about why Ancestors Day, and congratulations on this inaugural one.
Thanks, Huli. I think, why Ancestors Day, I think for us it was a no-brainer. We have always been a brand that is, spearheading culture, right? And we find it very important, for culture to be preserved. And if you look around, there aren't many brands that are doing that.
Yeah.
And it is such an important thing for our people. And really, that is what Milk Stout is about. We are about our people, and it is important for brands like us to use that platform to say, Africa rise up. That song is so relevant for me as well. It's time we are proud of who we are. We don't hide behind what we've been taught, but it's time we are proud of being Africans, and really that is why we have Ancestors Day.
I know not a lot of you are sitting close to her. May I please get a handheld
better
mic?
mic.
Yes. I know a lot of you are not sitting close to her, but I can literally see the tears in her eyes, like the emotion. And I know it's not tears of this day has come, but it means that much to you. It
Yeah.
means that much to you because this will live long after you've left Castle Milk Stout,
Definitely.
and it's purposeful work. We're all excited. It's the inaugural one. Kodwa ke, the question becomes, what do you hope to see for Ancestors Days down the line? Like, what are your hopes for it?
Huli, the dream is big, and I think it's beyond any one of us that are even sitting here. I think we're all privileged to be experiencing the first ever inaugural Ancestors Day, but this is not it. Our dream is to see this day recognized officially on a calendar, where Africans at large are celebrating it. Just like we saw today, what an amazing way to wake up today to see people take up the baton and really show, what it means to be an African and what it means to walk with your ancestors.
A lot of people are joining us. They're watching us from home. Good evening to all of you joining us
Good
on our
evening.
live stream. How can they be a part of the celebrations? How can they honor those that walked before them? How do they celebrate their ancestors?
Huli, the journey of walking with your ancestors can never be prescriptive, and is a very personal one. And I think we as a brand recognize that, and we can never say, this is what you need to do. But what we've really done is made our brand available to say, we will showcase what it means to be African. We will showcase how you can celebrate your ancestors proudly so. So really, people can join in on the conversation, show us on social media, use the hashtag Ancestors Day, and really join in on the conversation. You've seen how everybody is really celebrating this. That's how people should come on.
For me, Kensani, when it comes to brands, it's so easy to kind of like take something and commercialize it, right?
Yeah.
And to kind of like, we did that. And what I think is so important for those that don't know the brand Castle Milk Stout and the journey is that this is a story that makes sense. The fact that we are here today is a story that began way before
Way.
today. When I think about clan names, for me personally, I did not know my clan name. I could not. It's Tagazel Sasekaya. I didn't know it. Until Castle Milk Stout approached me and said, we would like to do a campaign where we put clan names on a can. And I had to go Hayanum Sanda. That I had to, because I said to Kensani and her team, "Nendimukororo, I'm of royal blood. The surname Ravele does not belong to me alone. If I'm going to agree to do this, I must go home and ask for permission." And that is where the journey began of Okonu Diba Zoro Nendim Duru Avera Lambeu. I never knew that before. Urundo bebo ngabo bela la mambo, ngabo denga, ngabo macheke bo thoma, ngabo ndo yamyomva bo thoma, ngabo vele, ngabo nganga, ngabo ndo akhulu, ngabo ndo yamyomva babili. Did not know that. Did not know that. And I know it sounds like just talk, but you will forever be remembered and etched in my heart as a brand because you encouraged me to do that. You encouraged me to do that. What is next after this beautiful launch? Because it's 8 May, it's a long year to go, so what can we expect?
I think before I answer that, what you said is very important. Huli, around, brands commercializing. And what I really want to come out is it's really not about us. And like I say, it's a cause that is bigger than us. And, the responsibility to say, Africa, we are here, is such an important thing. And that's what we want to achieve as a brand. That shine, Africa, shine. So to answer your question, what is next? So really, we want this day officiated. And really, we want people to jump onto the conversation. And, people can jump on our streams, so our platforms, so on social media as well as our websites. We will be carrying on the conversation as a brand. And we want people to join us to do that because there's such an important mission that we need to, achieve here. But we can never do it alone. United we stand, divided we fall. And as a brand, we can never do it without everyone jumping on this.
Kensani, we commend you and your team and the work that you're doing. We thank you for the barriers that you are breaking. We thank you that you're taking this fight to where it needs to be taken to. And we say, we're right behind you.
Thank you.
We're right
thank you.
behind you. Thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
Kensani.
Let me take that one because
That's the part. Thank you so much to says Kensani. Oh, so you give Kensani the nice microphone. Okay. Sengiyabona ukuthi kuhamba kanjani la ekhaya. Ladies and gentlemen, our evening is not too far off from being over, but I want us to continue in this theme of celebrating and ululating and just being genuinely happy. You know how many people have to walk around this world and they are unable to truly express who they are, where they come from? How long our traditional healers, laba abasilaphayo, ogogo, omkhulu, have had to face criticism and ridicule, have had to be told so many things that were unaligned, have had to be demonized. Mautu yobona ugogo, and it's a, ooh, what is that? Why are you going to, we don't do that at home. But today, I woke up on my timeline and I saw abantu namakhandlela abo, abantu nempepo yabo. People were going to the river. People were so proud to wear their cloths. Lisedi, Khanya, Chedza. I felt that light today, and I hope you're feeling it this evening. Because who we are, where we come from, and what we stand for is not demonic. It's not. It's not. It never has been. It never will be. Not on our watch. Rukuhana. Ririkabafasi. Rariwua. Thank you that you have brought us to this day. Because it is your will that has brought us here. Answered prayers. Answered prayers. And I think let's celebrate that with the Thespian Friends coming back for another piece. I'd just like to note that, Thespian Friends are a world-class group. They have traveled the world, ladies and gentlemen. They've performed on the most prestigious stages around the world. And so it really is such a pleasure and an honor to have them here with us this evening to celebrate and to just speak to us, because even dance is communication. Hurry, no. We're communicating. Huh? We're saying, do you feel the ground that I walk on? Do you know who I am? Do you hear me coming? And so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Thespian Friends.
You are so brilliant and just skilled but genuine too. To find both is like what you said was the absolute truth. Same my story, my fucking story. When I was asked to do this thing, I didn't know Stakazalasa. Broken, and I had to go Kilokopa. The journey that it has led me on. Yeah. And what it has done for me, for my life. Oh!
Because of a brand.
Yeah, I found that thing, man. Technology. It is technology. Because of a brand. But yeah, bonsa. For anything. Like those people will use castle milk stout if it has to. Asikisti awuphazamisa ke working. Kosho Mokoena, he is the head of Controlesa.
Yes, he's the president, and then Zolani His Royal Highness is the secretary.
Oh, 83453. Thank you. Let's give Murupeng a big round of applause. Mautelela khoshi watelela. Please, you must never take for granted a traditional leader. You will be in trouble. On that note, on Thursday, we sacrificed an ox in preparation for this day. And then again on Friday, we sacrificed another ox. We have 4 fathers, but we also have 4 mothers. Patriarchy does not belong in Africa. It's an imported disease. We as African, we espouse the values of Ubuntu and the norms. Patriarchy does not have a space in our society. It is something that we must deal with it and get rid of it. On that note, allow me to express my deep-felt gratitude to the Castle Mix Stout for agreeing to partner with us on this inscription of this day. We are going to walk a long journey with them for many years to come, hopefully, if things work according to our African spirituality. We want them to be blessed. We will be making an approach, actually, to be part of the ownership of that company. because partnerships must graduate to a higher level. Now, this group that was presenting here comes from Matibela land, the land of Kgoshi Mokoena. They were preparing the stage for the lion of this area, Kgoshi Mokoena himself. Well, Kgoshi Mokoena needs no introduction in the South African context. But allow me to take liberty to ask one of my greatest friends and someone that I hold in a very high esteem, who is a talented patriot. And she is a poet, poetess, a lioness of our land. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite on stage Miss Lebu Mashile to come forward to introduce the lion of this land.
Re ba mashile ba segodi sa malekane mokibane wa monesa morale ngwana wa lepulana pula ha tshabe ke matšhabatladi serutha ka mosela ntheng ya thaba magale a serorobele re matšhilwane a šibe a šila nakala mošidi ka mošo a šila tlhogo tsa batho rena ba maswi ka maramaga e kego maya tšhilwane. We call on memories buried deep inside skeletons of the first people to walk the skin of the earth, who nursed and nested in the cradle and spread civilizations across the planet like seeds. Tell us of air that flows through the heart of the land to all life and creation. Tell us of breath, the first song. Tell us of words like constellations mapping our contributions to humanity. Tell us of infinity, how the universe lives in us. Tell us which stars bear our names so we no longer have to fear the night. Tell us of earth, of roots that course through the body of the land like veins through flesh. Tell us of the force that squeezed the red sand like dough to form mountains. Tell us how to build strong communities like gemstones forged under extreme pressure. We call on the desert to remember when she was the bottom of the sea. Help us understand how to be fluid like water, how to remain supple without losing our identities. We call on volcanoes to inject us with flames of imagination. Once we carried tongues, burping fire. We melted metals with our minds. Tell us what we have forgotten. We are not afraid of bones. Tell us what we have lost. We are not afraid of remembering. Tell us what has been erased. We are not afraid of time. Tell us who we once were. We are not afraid of ourselves. Bomkhulu, bogogo, bonkgono le bontatemogolo, bagaetsho, bagolo. Badimo bana ba tlhalefile haholo when they decided to make this day happen, to use a brand, to use young people on social media, to use bokgoshi ba rona, to use our languages. Our languages are technology. Huli, I relate exactly to what you are saying. Le nna sereto sa ka sa ha mashile. It was brought to me via Castle Milk Stout. I didn't know it because our families are broken. Our lands were taken away. Our bloodlines were broken. Information was broken. We are broken on the inside. And our ancestors are calling us to piece ourselves back together again. And language is a powerful tool. Badimo bana ba hlalefile haholo. Why didn't you don't need to look to English to find them, you know? Ancestors are so smart. Ancestors are so smart. Ancestors are so smart. Someone can be born inside a woman's body, but we know because of Lidozila Hahumubitsam Kulu. What do we call that? It's wisdom that's encoded in who we are. Mewaka ke mokwena kgoshi. Ke nyansisetse kwena nna. Kweneng na le tsweleng la mokwena. Kwena le hlalefile. Kwena le hlalefile haholo le kotsi hampe. Le kotsi hampe. Kwena ya ja ha ijewe. Kwena e ka se je sengwatha sa maobane. It hunts now, it eats today. And Kwena is a master of time. Kwena waits. It studies. It is patient. When it eats its prey, it eats everything. The skin, the muscle, the bones, the body uses it all. It will wait for what it needs, but when it's time to strike, it moves fast. Kgoshi Mokoena, we thank you for hosting us today. It is my pleasure to introduce you and to invite you to the stage. The platform is yours.
You will be conversing with this lady. But when you can start with your statement, and then at the end you close with the interview. First make a statement and then join in.
A ke leboge go our dynamic and excellent, wonderful, marvelous program director. She is good. Angi acknowledge abahlonishwa abakhona la ondaba ezitha amakhosi ami. Our political leader, upresident we-ATM, Kgoshi ya ke Mpushang, Kgoshi Mahlangu, moetapele wa rena magoši ka kwa mmušong, mošato o mogolo mongaka, re a go leboga. Let me also appreciate the presence of all our guests who made it possible for Rebecca Mokgo. I want to send a special thank you to our partner, Castle Mixed Outs, Oscar Cohen. The day was spent by Reshu. I don't want to be wrong. Amadlozi akhona and azoba khona bathanda bengathandi. And what we're going to do, I am now saying to all of us, please ignore and laba who are saying amadlozi angamadimoni ngithi ngoba akekho umuntu owa ezulwini. There is no one who just fall like manna from heaven. If you say our forefathers, those who passed on decades ago, are demons, it means nawe uli demoninyana. Umntwana we demon. Umzukulu wama demon because awukawi ezulwini uzelwe. Therefore, Tina, we are honoring our heroes. Abasizala baile gore baile ba lwela naga e. Ka ge le tseba mo ke naga ya bokokwana wa rena mo e fela go tla gona go nyaka ke kry permit ya go tla mo. Ona Kgoshi Malele wa tseba gore re lo bjang ka yona. But be ke nyako gore nna to all our guests, please note gore rena contralesa with our partners. We have decided on the 8th of May every year it will be our Ancestors' Day. What we're going to do, we're going to write to the minister or by formalize because if by delay, now we're going to continue honoring this day. I want to plead with all of you, please be proud of who you are, be proud of your tradition and culture, practice it. unapologetically. Ngobe ayirithushe akusincedi ukuthi emini sikhuluma kabi ngamadlozi but ntambama siyanyenga siyakhona sihamba ngamadolo. So let's do it openly. Sibe proud ngabo. So ke ka ba o kere go shimahlango mongaka. Mshato mogolo ra go leba sebata. I don't know how can I say it khoshi ya ka embushang. Go ba gona ga gago gore fa matla ke a leboga. Khadi, I'm told you want to give me a hug. So let me wait for it. So
We are social distancing.
But instead, I'll have a conversation with you, Khoshi. If you could please just have a seat there. I think our conversation will feel as good as a hug, I get.
a gona taba.
I izo abatori ndithome nditorosha. Sometimes it will soften the blow. Ah.
No.
Ah.
Yeah, now I'm fine.
Better. Okay. I'm glad we could meet each other halfway. You know, Khoshi, you've spoken so much about a lot of things that we actually want to touch on in this conversation with you. Just about, you know, how the ways of our people have been seen as demonic for the longest time. But before we get to that part of the conversation, I just want to thank you, Khoshi, for hosting us today. And I'd like to find out from you what today means to you, the significance of this day. What does it mean to you?
To me, it's like I am a newborn. It's exciting to all of us, the royalty, because we've been deprived, not only by the powers that be, but some stupid and political beginnings who don't understand what royalty means. As I'm talking to you now, royal leadership are struggling to get mere development issues in their respective areas. The focus will be diverted to townships and towns and so on. But let's check when it is voting time, election time. They will run to rural areas because our support in the rural areas, it's loyal. The loyal votes come from rural areas. But development ba re lebala. So this day to us, Contraresa, it means a lot, and we can't wait when we'll be doing it annually. And we are saying to all South Africans, please be proud of who you are. Even if you are called names or labeled, please stand your ground and say, I am an African. Wanareshu.
Khoshi, the importance of hosting celebrations like the one we're having today in Mpumalanga, in your backyard, and not, you know, Riko Sentini, but we're doing things of our people. Talk to me about that. Hore, ritle haye to the very beginning of where things started.
Ge o phasa badimo o ka se ba phase o ile kae kae ditoropong ba nyaka mo ba leng gona. That's where they are. We decided to come here because that's where badimo are. And I am saying, even if ultoropong badimo ba hona, ino ba hona hore ba bang re a chaba go badira. Siye saba, but I want to say we decided that let's do it here. And as we said, it will be done annually. It will rotate going to other provinces, to other royalty. But what it is because, by the way, don't forget Wanaresh, I am the president of Contraless. Let's start here. Had to start here.
You had to make a way. I know Ralewoga, Khoshi Ralewoga. I know some of the festivities also started at your homestead, Maoban, Maloba, and even the day before that. So please take me through some of the things that took place yesterday.
We were surprised that we didn't expect so much people, but people came in their large numbers with their different traditional regalias and various dances. And it was so nice to have so many people. And what marked that day is because we opened the function, Ngabo Koko, and they continued blessing our day using impepo and other things. And even this morning at 5 o'clock, people are still in the crowd. Even today, I'm going to get them there. They're busy eating, drinking, and all those things because I planned for that day, and we planned for it. of course, with the help and guidance from my colleagues, royal leadership, it was so good to see some of the elders. I got calls from even our fundis who said, Khoshi, we didn't understand this day, but now we understand.
Yeah.
Because all along we thought that maybe you are want to bring us something else. I said, we are celebrating our heroes who passed on decades ago. Therefore, there's no way in which re ka ba lebala. Now, but what I see yesterday, ngwana gesu, baye bavuma bathi besingazi ukuthi amakhosi ningasilethela lento. Abogogo nabo are so happy ngoba sivule iminyango manje ukuthi anyone please consult ogogo without any fear, ningasabi. Le rena re jajela mabane ngwana ge tshubele monate o ka re rewind. Those who have that clip le mo fe a le bone, I've sent it to one of the bishops in of our churches in South Africa. He responded and said, Khoshi, why didn't you invite me?
Eish.
Now, for all those fake reverends and pastors and bishops, shame on you who are yet to stay as African people. Mwanageshu.
Yo, it's such an important point that you are making there, Khoshi, because I want us to take this conversation to there, that controversial spot where batho ba bangata ha ba sheba dilo tsa badimo, bafasi, the mention of idlozi, and immediately it is demonic. Immediately it is evil. What is your message to those who have felt that way for such a long time and insist uri nanamhlanje masphahla, masphalaza, that what we are doing is taking part in demonic acts?
Bengithi mina singabapheleli inhliziyo, they will come on board one day. They are still confused because they lost souls. Ilabo who, if they can only cram if verse A1 in Bible, they think they know a Bible, abalas. The Bible that I'm reading, it says, it's the gods of the dead and the living.
Yes.
Therefore, uma wena utaba your parents who passed on amadimon, and then I don't know what they're talking about. Mina bengithi they will come on board. Sikabafela pelo. Those who are still doubting, mekere, go and tell them what Contralesa is saying. Wena mutsu omusu seba hore uska forwa ke meetlo ya batho ba bang.
Ah.
And let's not singavumeli labo abafundisi ababuya wherever they come from to come and dictate to us bafuna sishintshe ngendlela esingayo so that sikholwele kulezi abazenzayo bona lababuya khona. Ka wona re ka se dumele. My message ko gore as Africans we are proud of who we are. We're going to continue to honor and respect our ancestors. Hence, we're saying the 8th of May, Ancestors Day, itlaba in our calendar. We are sick and tired of assisting people to celebrate their days while Rena re gatela ka
It's
maoto.
nowhere.
It will never happen again. Never again.
Ra leboga, Khoshi. Before I let you go, what do you hope to see next year? Yes, we want to celebrate Ancestors Day again, but what support do you require from the government? You know, there are young people watching right now, streaming us live. What do you need from them to ensure that Ancestors Day is what you envision it to be?
We are envisaging that come next year, hopefully, our government will wake up from their slumberland and our people will be saved from this disease, Eris Wering. We'll celebrate this day with all our people. Because as you can see, we have scaled it down to respect the protocol that is being dictated to by COVID-19 regulations. And next year, we're aiming that it will be even bigger than this. And more beriatalela ngwana gesho.
Yeah.
Even though beriatalela, but you can see how big it is. And we are inviting everybody that come and see next year. Happy is the Khoshi or a province where it is going to be staged next year. If I had my way,
Ah, Khoshi, I know where you're going with this.
No, I'm not going nowhere.
Ah!
No, I was saying if I had my way, I would say, yeah, so and so, but I'm not saying it.
Maro, you're going to say repeat, no? You're not going to say repeat. Next year. Let's leave it.
I'm not-
Respectfully,
I'm not saying
Khoshi.
that, I'm not
Let's
saying
leave
that.
it there.
And I'm not saying it.
Mara, inside, it's fine, Khoshi. Thank you. Thank you.
Unkwele. Re a leboga.
Thank you for your time, Khoshi.
Ngwana
Re
bešo.
leboha.
Thank you very much, man. Da.
Thank you, Khoshi. Re leboha. Yo! Avulekile amazulu. Do you feel that today? Or maybe ni lukewarm? I don't know about you, but this is so much more than just an event. You know, I come from a family where re batho ba kenileng kereke, ro uranga Bibili. And venturing into this path of wanting to know more about my ancestors was something that was received with such negativity. I remember hearing gore go na le ragadi o founetseng malume o founetseng ragadi a founela family kaofela. A re he ulisana o busy nga makhandela. Hey, ulisani zwino ha chaita kereke. That's what was said. And I stand before you today, Kiri Waitiking. I've been called to a much higher path and a much higher level of understanding. I'm not looking for your approval. I'm not looking for your acknowledgement, because those who are guiding me, those who are speaking to me, will never lead me astray. Ever. And I think for us as young people to aid in what Bokhoshi are trying to achieve with making Ancestors Day official, a public holiday where we take time off to say we are going to celebrate and acknowledge us, it's going to need all of us to come together. And so to you watching the live stream, if you're a young person, jump onto social media right now, #Ancestors Day, tag your political leaders. Tell them what it is that you want. Tell them that the 8th of May, come 2022, you want to see it on a calendar. Gomnatu ba lefa Christmas, re batla le Ancestors Day. A re lekane ka moka kaofela. In Africa, there's not a day to celebrate Africans. Njani. Njani. And that's what today for me is about. It's about planting a seed that one day my children and their children and their children and their children will sit under the shade of that baobab, knowing that it started here. It started today. Kgoshi ra leboga to you and your whole team for everything that you're doing. His Royal Highness Zolani Mkiva did touch on earlier that there was an ox that they sacrificed on Thursday and another one yesterday. Aninginvayitanga kodwa your Royal Highness, but it's fine. Ke. Whatever's here today. But I'd just like to welcome His Royal Highness back on the stage to just speak to us about the significance of the events of the past few days. And we'll also watch a video, because I think it's so important for us to understand again, gore, ha se thabi-thabi re bantle, but there's protocol and process and things that need to be done to ensure ore indlela ivuleke. We're not trying to cut corners when it comes to what the cool kids now say under days, our underground gang. We can skirt, but we will not cut corners in terms of process and what must be done. So, Your Royal Highness, please take us through the journey of the past few days.
I'm going to make it very short, because I think you already have an understanding, given what the President has told you already. On Thursday, we used that day as a day of preparing the ground, so that by the time we reach this day, we have done everything in accordance with our rituals, customs, and tradition. Therefore, Bakwena, as the hosting royalty, gave us an ox. They were doing that as a gesture, doing it on behalf of all the 882 traditional authorities of our country. They were doing it on behalf of all of the kings and the queens of our land. So that ox was sacrificed in line with our protocols because we attach so much value on cattle. And therefore, the leadership of Bakwena conducted that ceremony, conversed with their ancestors, and asked for guidance as we begin that roadmap which has brought us to where we are today. The following day, Friday, was a day which was a full ritual ceremony, which started in the morning, where Amabuto Abakwena, led by their senior traditional leader, went to the kraal of the royal place to go and identify a perfect ox to conduct the ritual. It was Kgoshi Mokoena who went into the kraal of his ancestors and picked up the cow dung and he threw it into the kettle in the kraal. And it fell just right into the ox that got anointed to conduct the ritual of that day. Then a man who's designated to actually conduct the sacrificing then was given that honor to actually do the honors. From there, the contingent left the kraal and went to the gravesite where the elders of Bakwena are resting in power. At that point, umkhosi ubukhona pha onamabuto, led again by Kgoshi Mokoena in the presence of other traditional leaders that I introduced here earlier. They were part and parcel of the yesterday event, all of them. Then they went into that sacred place to conduct a sacred ritual, as you know that some of our things are sacred and therefore I cannot explain the detail. From there, we went into a hand washing ceremony because when you go to the gravesite, a sacred space, there has to be a hand washing ceremony. We did exactly that. And then from there, we went into an area that was designated where words of wisdom were to be ushered. And then we had a small program which was represented by almost all the province of South Africa, by the leaders that were present on that day. So that event included music, traditional dance, as well as a prayer session, which was very divine, which was very original, which was very African, conducted by our traditional healers, invoking the spirit and the spirits of our ancestors. So it was such a beautiful day. And I hope that you will be given an opportunity tonight to see some clips of what actually happened yesterday. What a beautiful event. We used that event as a signing ceremony, a ritual signing ceremony to cement this very day. So the ancestors have blessed us because even the bull responded in a very positive way, the ox. And we all said, Kamaku, Kamaku, Kamaku. Over to you, Hulisani. Thank you very much. That's a short story about what happened in the last 2 days.
There we go. Thank you.
Sithathe
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful event. Siyabonga, Rodibonga Manda, that things were done correctly. Because if you don't do it correctly and the foundation is weak, anything that you're going to build will not stand tall. At some point it will give way. But because you insist on ukulandela indlela, you are even showing us who come behind you how things are done. So Rukoribuwa, to the leadership, to everybody that's been a part of ensuring that today's inaugural Ancestors Day is what it is. So much more than just a fluffy PR thing. It's real. It's intentional. And my wish for everybody sitting here is that you may take the experience that you've had here today and that you may pass it on to others. Because if you don't teach your children, who will? You think SpongeBob SquarePants will? No. You think the radio stations they listen to will teach them? No. It is up to every single one of us to be the custodians of our ancestors, to be the custodians of our culture, and to be the preservers of our heritage, not just during Heritage Month, but every single day. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. But before I close, just one more word from His Royal Highness, and then we will wrap it up.
Yes, no, thank you very much. In accordance with our protocol, we would like now at this point to make the final word. But I am very young and probably very junior in the hierarchy of our country. And with due respect and with your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite the chairperson of the National House of Traditional Leaders of our country to do the vote of thanks, and then we will have the meals.
No, no, thank you so much, Twanin. Stokos. And don't get Tokos. No, thanks, Olisan. Thank you so much for the opportunity that has been given to me. I think on behalf of the National House, I think first I have to say this and then give the vote of thanks. I think as the National House, we embrace and support this day, Khoshiaka. We believe that this is the beginning of the decolonization process. It's the beginning of the decolonization process in that, as traditional leaders, Khosh, including you, we took a resolution that it is time that we emancipate the lives of the people that are living in our areas. And how do we do that is by making sure that traditions and cultures become the bedrock or the foundation of our economy, the foundation of how our people would live. Because we believe that the foundation of this economy, of this constitutional democracy that we are living in, is not a foundation that is on the bedrock of Africans, but it is on the foundation of those that colonized us. And whatever that we do with this economy will never benefit us, because it will always benefit those that is at the bedrock of. So if we change that, it will definitely change the lives of our rural communities. We want to build rural communities where people live with dignity, where people work towards prosperity, and where our people have hope for the future. And that's what we wish for, and that's what we'll do. And together, Khoshiaka, we launched what we call an Invest Rural Master Plan, of which is a blueprint of how we're going to develop rural areas. And that master plan, I think, will need about 1 trillion rands. And you've started a good process, Khoshi. You've partnered with private sector, because we're going to need money from different structures. We're not going to rely on government. We've decided that we're not going to support anymore, but we'll take the bull by its horn and start transforming our communities. And I think this is a process, this is the beginning of what we wish to do. So as the National House, we wish that for this day, it should be a program, not only an event, but it should be a program where we teach our young the importance of this Africanness. So we need to reawaken the Africanness in us, and I believe that Contralesa, you've started that, and will support you through and through. So in those views, I just want to thank the president of Contralesa for starting this initiative together with your secretary, those that have sponsored this event, African Milk Stout. Thank you so much for making this happen. Those that have spoke today, we also want to thank them for pushing this day, for pushing, because this is an idea. It's a good idea because it takes us back to where we are from. If you know who you are, you'll never get lost. But you will get lost if you do not know who you are. And the colonialists have made sure that our cultures have been distracted, our religion is destroyed, so everything has been destroyed. So it is time that we go back to our ways and we support this day. We will push as well, Kwanin, that it is a day that is recognized for us to celebrate our own ancestors. I just want to thank all those that are here, from different communities, from different structures, CRL Rights, Arts Council, the Khoisan communities, and Nonke Benibatle. Unfortunately, Khoshi, I didn't put on my, I feel underdressed because I'm dressed up in the colonialist attire, so I feel so underdressed. But next time, when it goes somewhere, nami ngizokufaka isititirimba, ngifake nenaka lami, ngibe vele ngokwamabhokosini then namhla kunethuli, bathi nangu namhla kungasuye, bathi unehlwane elibomvana njengelamanye amadoda kaqala umuntu uqala bamqalako. Ngezami ke lezo, ngizazibetha kuhle ngalelo langa kwangathi ngaba nobusuku obumnandi. Sithokoza.
Thank you, Chairperson. Kopale mo fine at the next meeting again, because dress code. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our evening. It has been such a pleasure to host you. Please don't forget to be a part of the conversation. Hashtag Ancestors Day and tag at Castle Milk Stout, because let's be honest, the work really starts now. To lobby government, to lobby our leaders to make this day official. Not a day that we are now, celebrating ourselves, but for them to say, yes, we recognize Ancestors Days, and yes, it is a day that as a nation we will remember, we will mark, and we will commemorate and celebrate. So please, get onto Twitter. Let's use the power of social media to do good. I'm going to be welcoming back Thespian friends as we wrap up this evening. I know Nilambe, don't worry, the food is good and the food is ready. So dinner will be served. It has been such a pleasure to be your host this evening. Ubakane komba ravele, nimadekwa na wudi. Oh, there we go. That was incredible. Can we please give Thespian Friends another round of applause? Wow. Your storytelling using the body. It's something. It's something. Bati avulekile amasango, livumile iqamaku, so the stomachs are also open, okay? And I'm just here to give you instructions on how our dinner will proceed. If you could please take the plate that is at your table where you are seated, and then the buffet will be served on the other side. I'm going to be Rachadi Waskia, you know, Kolinyalo. The Rachadi that comes to tell you, so daga, siyohamba ngale ndlela. I think if we start with these two tables here in the front, and then thereafter the other tables can follow, just so that our dignitaries and our kings can serve themselves first. Is that okay with everybody? That's more again. It be like that sometimes. Bunjalo. So with that said, please enjoy your dinner, ladies and gentlemen, and the festivities thereafter.